After a year of on and off injury, it's safe to say it's been a pretty poor year of mountain biking for me. Today I'm back out on my first proper ride in the Peak District this year, and in this video I'll be explaining my foolish approach to injury and the subsequent weight gain and fitness loss that I've experienced. Hopefully this video will serve as a sort of guide about what not to do if you get injured. So almost exactly a year ago now, I visited Cannock Chase to test how my Voodoo Bazango Carbon performed on red graded trails. As I said in that video, I really enjoyed this ride and was surprised at how good the bike was. The day after this trip, however, I noticed a relatively large amount of discomfort in my lower back and shooting pains down my right leg when walking. At the time, I just shrugged it off as fatigue and took it easy for a few days. Once everything felt normal again, I hopped straight back out on my bike as if nothing had happened. However, the pain returned, but this time worse than before, to the point where I was actually struggling to walk properly for a few days. Being young, stubborn and plain ignorant, I completed this cycle over and over again. Each time I'd make some adjustment to my bike or stretching routine to feel like I was fixing the issue. All the while I was walking and cycling less and less, and in part due to lockdown, sitting more and more. Over the autumn and early winter months I put on roughly 10 kilos of weight, going from 93 kilograms to 103 kilograms. Over the month of February I decided to make a change by trying to complete a cheat bike challenge, where I took this £200 retro bike and used it as my only bike for the month. Strangely enough, I found that during this month I had minimal issues related to my injury. Because of this, I ended up riding a lot more frequently and subsequently lost 3 to 4 kilograms of weight. At the time, I didn't think much about the lack of pain, and after the month was up, I headed straight out on my Bazango to find the pain returned once again. I think because I love riding the Bazango Carbon so much, I refused to accept that I was injured and it might be the bike that was causing the problem. So after months of messing about, putting on weight and losing fitness like no tomorrow, I decided that enough was enough and it was time to accept that I had an injury and I needed to sort it. For the first time, I sought out some professional advice, and although I was never told exactly what my injury was, it was likely something to do with my SI joint. In terms of why a specific bike was aggravating the injury, well, I could speculate a few reasons, like it may have been due to a poor bike fit, but I did spend a long time trying to get those parameters just how I like them. So over the past few months I've been taking cycling pretty easy, hence the lack of videos here on YouTube. I've also been building up the core muscles around that area to support my lower back and sticking to riding my white C130 and my retro bike. And that brings us to today. While my back feels fine for the most part, I weigh just shy of 100 kilograms and I can definitely see it and feel it. Going up the climbs, it genuinely felt like someone had let the air out of my tyres. Not only this, but because I've lost so much strength in my legs, my sprinting power feels severely diminished compared to last year as well. So where am I going to go from here? Well, first and foremost, I'm going to try and ensure that I protect my lower back so this injury does not rear its head again. If anyone's had any similar injuries to this, I'd be really interested to hear what you found causes the problem and how you've gone about fixing it in the long term. Secondly, I'm going to try and regain my fitness and strength back to where they were before, while also getting my weight back down to the manageable mid 80 kilogram level. Later in the year, I plan to showcase the progress that I've made towards these goals, so stay tuned if you're interested for that. If you were to take one thing away from this video, however, it would be if you get injured, don't do what I do and ignore it if it persists. I know life gets very busy and it's easy to put these things on the back burner, but the subtle negative impacts over time really do show, like in my case. Really, I'm very lucky to have been able to recover from this as well, and even then it could still impact me in later life. I think it's also important to take the opportunity to tell you to go easy on yourself when you do get back out riding after your injury. For me, it's really tempting to go all out like nothing's ever happened, and in this section of trail I nearly crashed because I was just way too tired and not concentrating properly. Anyway, I hope the majority of you don't need to think about any of these tips, but as is the way with action sports, injury and recovery is a painful but integral part of the sport. But anyway, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon. Ride safe.